Hello everyone and welcome to the Jus As Pilot YouTube channel. My name is Mauricio Mendoza and I'm very happy that for our first video we will be talking to a great pilot but also a great person. He's a former A380 pilot for Qatar Airways and he has so many great things to tell us about the aviation industry. He's very well known on social media and his name is Alexander, but you probably know him as Pilot Alexander. So without further ado, let's just jump right to it.
Okay, welcome everyone. Today we're here with Pilot Alexander. Welcome to our YouTube channel at Jus As Pilot. We are glad to have you here today and we're looking forward to a great conversation.
Okay, first allow me to thank you, both of you, for this invitation. I am really proud being with you guys, and I'm happy that I'll be the first one you are interviewing for your YouTube channel.
All right, for our first question for you, Alexander, we wanted to ask you, can you walk us through your journey to becoming a pilot? What are some of the challenges that you faced? What was the most difficult part about it? What was some exciting part about it?
It's a very long journey indeed to reach the position I've reached, I'd say. I started very young, and when I say very young, is perhaps 5 years old. Do you get me? To think of thinking of becoming a pilot, and I have just studied for it in my life. I have done every step I have done was to reach definitely this this objective. So I have gone through the normal, let's say, high school here in France. I have done a scientific, we have different specialties. So I've started with the scientific one, science, basically physics, math, biology, all these things. And then I have continued, I've done, which we call specialization, like mathematics, a lot of mathematics, physics. I went to engineering school. I did some IT, which is a great background. I actually love it. And after that, I joined the pilot school. Then I joined Qatar Airways, where I was actually cadet for Qatar Airways. So yeah, I'm really grateful to the company. Absolutely lovely. So I started from the scratch, from the zero, point with them. I started immediately my career after the pilot school on the Airbus A330, which I'm really happy, proud, and glad of having done it. I would say this way. I didn't have to go through the challenges many have gone through. For example, starting on the propeller aircraft and then flying, I don't know, some ambulances, or now I actually started flying immediately on the Airbus A330 wide body, which was absolutely amazing. And this is Qatar Airways. I mean, they do the right thing.
Right.
So it's absolutely great.
That's awesome.
Difficulties, I'd say, because you've asked me about difficulties, I'd say the uncertainty, when you're uncertain of what the future is like. This is maybe kind of scary, but indeed I have learned to just let go, let the thing happen. Whatever is meant to be for you will happen.
Correct.
And I mean, you are not going to take anyone's I would say good, and no one's will take yours. So whatever is meant for you, you will have it. So I'm very chill all the time, very, very chill indeed.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have one more question. So from your perspective, what is the hardest part of being a pilot?
So look, I think the most difficult thing of being a pilot is that from the day you start to your retirement, which is, let's say, 65 years old in general, you've got to be mentally present. So you've got to be extremely healthy. I mean, in terms of mental health, and of course, physically. So there is no way for you to, let's say, just let go even one day. It's not possible. And it is one of the rarest jobs like this, where you have to be the best all your life.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially knowing that every once in a while as pilots we have to do we have to get our medical certificates and everything, and I mean, time just goes by and we get older, and I mean, health doesn't get any better. So for sure, I know what you mean.
Absolutely, you've got to keep healthy. You know, I do a lot of exercise, I do sports, I do things in order for me to keep that health. But it's not only that. You have also to feed, I would say, your brain a lot, and that I do a lot because I study, I do different things, and in order to stay healthy, you know, it's important. And it's important also to always have different backgrounds, you know, different kind of, let's say, backup. Or backups, indeed. So yeah, it's great. You never know. In aviation, everything is kind of uncertain, especially today, right?
Especially now, right now. All right. The following with our next question. We wanted to ask you, what was your experience flying the A380, the largest passenger aircraft in the world? And what are your thoughts on the fact that many airlines are considering to retire it now?
What a shame. So, well, I've got the call indeed from my company. It was in 2017, and they asked me if I was happy to go to the 380. At that time was an upgrade from the 330 to the 380. And the last 3 months, I remember flying the 330. I was flying a lot of cargo flights, and at night. And I was very, very busy to an extent where I had no time, basically, because I was flying a lot. It's great. I enjoy it. I mean, I love flying, so I love doing that. But truly, when I got this call of the 380 request, I remember I just jumped on my bed. I was sitting on the bed, and I stood up on the bed, and I started to jump like on a trampoline, you know, like a kid that would jump, getting a present. I was extremely happy.
Yeah.
I was extremely happy. I was, in a way, scared to receive the 350, you know, for an upgrade, because I really wanted to go on the 380. I was wishing for it, you know, I was really wishing for it, and I got it. So it was amazing. It was amazing, you know, it was amazing. I mean, every bit of it, I enjoyed it, every bit of it. The training was the best. The training, I mean, the simulator training, which is a type rating. The line training was great because in companies in general, the 380 is for the seniors in general. You know, they wouldn't send someone to the 380 with some, you know, issues, or, you know, you get me. They would send the best, basically, and all my captains were just the best people ever. The best people. I would never forget that. That was the best thing for me to fly the 380 was to be with my captains. I loved it all the time. The crew, from the seniors to the beginners that we had. I mean, not the beginners, but at least which we called in Qatar Airways the F2, which is the economy class cabin crew. They were all amazing. I started first time I arrived to the aircraft, and I was like under it. I went with my captain for a walk around, and it was just stunning. The airplane is so big. It is unreal.
Every time I see it, I wonder how the thing flies. I mean, I understand how planes flies, but I still don't understand how that thing flies. It's really
it's
great. Enormous.
It's great if you understood how it flies, because after flying it for so long, I can tell you that I have never understood how this aircraft flies. It is something. I mean, it's a miracle. You see this aircraft, it's a miracle. So the first time I was standing under the tail, the THS, and you know, and you see that rudder is 24 meters high. So it's basically an 8-story building. My building right now is 8-story buildings. It's an 8-story. No, you get me. So when I sit and say, wow, the 380 is as big as this, in fact. And I was like under. I was like, what is this? You know.
That's just the tail.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is, I mean, you control it almost like a fighter aircraft, you know, like a fighter jet. The minor input on the side sticks moves the whole aircraft immediately. The response, you know, between the actions you take as a pilot and the reaction of the airplane itself is immediate, you know, and is absolutely precise. Compare, for example, to the 330, 200, and 300. Okay. That are a bit slower. You would put an input, and the aircraft would, you know, go. Where the 380, you would do this, it would immediately, you know, like the, I mean, something else, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, you're very, very lucky that you got the opportunity to fly it. And especially knowing that the A380, I mean, in the future, I'm sure it will be remembered as one of those iconic aircrafts in aviation history, just like the Concorde and that the 747, you know. And I'm sure you must be very, very happy that you had the opportunity to fly it. And I just wanted to tell you, I asked you about what do you think about the airlines are retiring it? What are your opinions about that?
Look, this aircraft is a legend, and the legend's life is never long. You know, you will never see a legend living all his life and enjoying everything. It will come for a certain time and then it will go. And I do believe truly that this aircraft is the best aircraft ever built. You know, it's ever built, for many reasons. Of them, the performance of the aircraft. So this aircraft is capable of carrying a lot. So it carries passengers, carries the cargo, and it carries the fuel. And what I'm telling you right now, this triptych, I would say, is not common in aviation. It is not something that you find all the time. For example, the 350-900 flying, let's say from, I don't know, France, let's imagine to Santiago, would have a choice to make in carrying the people with their luggages, or carrying the people with the fuel, or carrying less people to be able to take their luggages than the fuel. Do you get me? So many flights.
Yeah,
many
I remember
flights, they would
that.
restrict.
I remember, like, I went to Qatar last winter, yeah, I think, and I was flying standby on the A350, and I remember that the lady at the front desk was telling me, "Hey, like, I'm not sure if you're gonna be," because it was Miami Doha, so it was one of the longest flights. So the lady at the front desk was telling me, "Hey, I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to board today because we have to decide cargo passenger," and they were always saying that, you know. And I'm sure that
in fact, Airbus solved the problem with the 350-1000. The 350-1000 is quite performant, but the 900 had this issue, and not only the 900, by the way. I mean, all the other aircraft, they have to make this choice, more or less, I'd say. The 380, no. The 380 takes off with 573 tons maximum takeoff weight. Sorry, with a maximum takeoff fuel of 254 tons, something like this. So it is amazing. I mean, we used to fly very long haul, ultra long hauls, and we were still overweight for 12 hours.
It's amazing.
You get me? So we reached 12 hours. We still cannot land if we have something else than an ememergency.
Yeah.
You get me? If we have something else and we have to land, but it is not at the level of an emergency, we cannot land because we are overweight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So what I think about the fact that the airlines are just retiring it, I really don't understand it. I really don't understand it. The idea of it, the first idea Airbus got, and actually the founder of the A380 was to move it from hub to hub, and then put small aircrafts, you know, to which had been applied very, very well, very successfully by Emirates. Emirates has used it very well.
Yeah.
The 380. Other companies less, but Emirates have done great job with it.
Yeah, I mean, they have over 100 A380s, so I'm sure they see some potential in the aircraft. But yeah, of course.
They have the same numbers of destinations, I would say. Yeah, approximately. Where we've had less destinations because it was not the first aircraft. You get me? As a choice. They used it for certain routes, and we would all the time say I would fly with the chief pilot and I would fly with the managers, and because all of them are 380 basically. So I tell them every time we discuss, like, why don't we send it to Miami, for example?
Yeah.
You know, instead of a 350 and a 777.
Yeah.
So things like this, but I guess the cost of it. I mean, I know some things, but it is confidential. I cannot tell you everything about it, as it is company related. But basically, if you have an incident on the 380, or you have to divert, or you have to, I mean, you have anything that will keep the aircraft on the ground, you will need to move to 777.
Of course.
for the number of people, and it happened.
Yeah.
Again, so a 380 is basically 2 777. So imagine the cost of the emergency if you have it, or medical emergency or whatever. So I guess this is what is kind of restrictive for them.
Yeah, of course, and that's probably one of the reasons why airlines are considering to, especially now that they have economic problems, they have to really take care of the money. And as you said, any problem with the A380 is 2 times the price of any normal aircraft. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I've seen it and I lived it. So I know exactly what it is, how much it costs. I mean, what impact it has. I mean, just think of the amount of people you have on the aircraft. It is huge. It is huge. It can carry up to 850 passengers on a 53 passengers, actually 853 passengers on a single economy class. But usually it's used approximately between 500 and 600 passengers. But still, it is huge. Huge. Imagine hotels, airplanes, everything you have to set and organize for the people in case of anything. It's quite difficult indeed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is truly
a my question. Yeah, so my question is, so it's well known that there was a shortage of pilots before COVID-19, right? But now it's like the complete opposite. So what are your thoughts on that, on the future? How is that going to change?
Well, look, this is simple mathematics, or let's say simple statistics, or even business. You have demand and you've got supply.
Yeah.
So basically, before you've had a lot of demand because the industry was just booming and growing so much, and we've had almost more aircrafts in the sky than there are cars on the streets. But well, now I mean the impact of the COVID crisis has just put all the aircraft down. Basically, that's it. So all the pilots are out. I mean, at least a lot of them. And I've got a lot of friends that have been let go by their companies.
Yeah,
absolutely. So now there is more supply than demand. It's basic.
Yeah.
But do you think it will be?
How long? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it will get, like, the demand will get higher again? How's that gonna change? Like, what do you think in the future?
Look, I cannot.
People be a pilot or not?
You want to be a pilot? This is what you're saying?
No, I'm asking that. Should someone that wants to be a pilot study to be a pilot and get their licenses, or should they consider another career?
And that's kind of like our following question. We wanted to ask you, like, going off of this, we wanted to ask you, like, what would you tell a young aspiring pilot right now? What would you tell him? What would you advise him or advise her?
Or not
like,
to do or not to do.
Like, they're not sure anymore if it's a good idea to become a pilot anymore. So what would you tell them?
Okay, so you've asked many questions here. The first one that you've said is, what do I think about it? I really cannot guess. I really cannot guess. And what I'm seeing right now, what I'm observing, is that it's becoming worse and worse every day. Restrictions and I mean the situation we're living right now, and I'm not absolutely not afraid of saying it, has nothing to do with the virus anymore. We fell into something political that is just something completely different than I would say a health crisis, or do you get me? It has nothing to do anymore. So for me, it's clearly political. And clearly some people are trying to gain politically from it. So where do they want to get? I have absolutely no clue. Do you get me? I could tell you it will go back to how it was before if I knew that it was just about COVID crisis.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Okay, COVID crisis came. We had a good death rate, although it was not more than flu or whatever, or any other sicknesses. It was just like normal death rate. It hasn't moved, I'd say, the general death rate. But we had something new, something that we didn't know. I mean, except the other COVIDs, the previous ones. But now it looks completely different. So I have no idea. Will it start again? I don't know. Really, I don't know. I'm sorry about this. I cannot.
No, it's okay. It's very uncertain times.
So now about what shall I tell? What shall I tell the aviation lovers?
Yeah.
Look, I have done a video about it. I have done many videos indeed about it. Some stories on Instagram and also on YouTube, a proper video, which brought me, I'd say, you know, some people that were really upset about what I was saying.
Okay.
I'm really honest in general. I do not lie, and I do not like to lie to people, and I do not benefit in people going through something that might be worse if they didn't. Do you get me? So personally, I would recommend during this period right now that we are living to do something else. Do something else. Go for engineering, study mathematics, study physics, get an engineering degree, go for astronomy, go for whatever you feel going for, you know, go for IT. I always say IT is the future. You are at home, you work, you know, you're at home, you work. I've got a friend, he's an IT engineer. He's working from home. He's not stopping. You get me? And all of them. And you can work, you can be living in the US and work in Asia in an IT company and still be able to make your month and work perfectly.
As we saw, like the world can stop, but the people who work with technology, they don't have to stop. I mean,
absolutely.
they don't even let their computers work, and that's one of the things I learned from this pandemic, that if there's one thing that people should learn nowadays is how to work with, like, you know, IT, computers, like social media, all that stuff, because
in another dimension, I tell you, go for food. You get me? I mean, people will never stop eating. So you can stop anything. Food is always working. So these days, food and IT, go for it. I mean, do something else. Don't leave. I mean, many people get really angry or got angry when I said that. And, you know, I received even mails and calls from pilot schools, from recruitment agents, you know, people recruiting basically student pilots and aviation lovers that really want to start. They make them pay something like, let's say, $500, $1,000 to place them somewhere in a program, in a sponsorship, or just in a pilot school, private pilot school. And basically they contacted me telling me, why are you killing our business? I said, because you are killing the people.
Yeah, of course.
It's as simple as this. So I received serious threats. I know it's not a joke. So I would say it again without being afraid of it. Just don't study aviation now. Wait. You have time. If you didn't start, you have time. If you started, just continue, finish, do something else. Don't waste your time, which means you finish. You got your ATPL, CPL, MCC, IR, everything. You got it all. Don't wait. You are not going to get into any company right now. It is impossible.
Yeah, of course.
Just immediately go for a course, go for university, go do something else, go help your dad in his business, go do something else immediately. Keep yourself current. That if you started, but if you didn't, don't start.
Okay.
Wait. It's fine. You're not going to die. Aviation is not the end of the world, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
So we noticed in your Instagram bio that you have a lot of hobbies like rock climbing, music, and medicine science. So we wanted to ask you more about that. So what's that you like to do in your free time?
Well, I like to do a lot of things indeed. I have studied a lot in my life. I just got recently a master in aeronautical studies just now in July, which I haven't, told anyone. But this is just to be an aeronautical consultant, which I am right now. I'm not doing only the piloting job, I'd say. I'm also a consultant for airlines and other institutions. So I do a lot of things. I studied neurology. Which is a field of medicine. I absolutely love it, and I'm continuing. This year, I have presented a program, a study to one university here in France, which is a great, one of the best university here in France, to do a master in international relations, diplomacy, and security, which I am doing right now. I'm starting it. So I'm studying. Meanwhile, I'm also, of course, being very active. I do rock climbing, and I got certificates in it, which means I can do it, let's say, professionally, kind of. And I cook, of course. That's
I mean, you're French, you know.
we have to cook, and I use a lot of cheese. Yeah, it's French.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank
That's
you.
very interesting, the neurology thing. I am a biology major and I'm planning to be a doctor. And it's very interesting, really, that you're a pilot and that you're interested in other things other than aviation itself.
Well, in fact, everything is linked. After studying neurosciences, I have wrote an episode for my YouTube, video for my YouTube channel, but I haven't filmed it yet. I just didn't have the time for it because I'm so busy doing a lot of things. But I have wrote this connection between the human brain and Airbus. And in fact, the way for example, the controls, you know, the flight controls functions is exactly the way our brain function with our hands, for example, our fingers. You know, basically it sends an electrical signal to your fingers and it tells it to do something. And the only difference is that now your fingers will send back another signal, you get me, to feel it, to say that, okay, it felt it. Airbus is approximately the same thing. It sends an electrical signal to the control, to the surface, for example. And this control sends back a signal, but it goes back to a computer. For example, the flight control computer unit, which is just a computer, but it doesn't send you back a signal to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the Airbus engineers have copied the brain, and this is beautiful.
That's an amazing comparison.
It's beautiful.
Have you done all the membrane potential, the action potentials?
Yeah, neurons, and you know, of course, when you touch something, there is a current that goes to the primary somatosensory cortex in the brain.
Absolutely.
And your brain like analyzes what you're touching, and it's amazing. The brain is amazing.
It's all current. In fact, it's all electricity. So 1/3 of what you eat daily goes to just start up these electrical signals. It feeds the electric system in your body. So we are all made up of electricity rather than
wires, yeah.
Rather than proteins movements. Proteins movements take a lot of time. For 1 meter, it can take 28 hours. So it's not a real movement like in the trees, for example. It's an electric movement, and this is so connected to aviation.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Lovely.
Thank you.
That's gonna be everything for our interview, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. We learn a lot from your experience, and I'm sure that our viewers will learn a lot from your experience as well. And we hope that we get the chance to speak with you again in the future. And yeah, for whoever's watching this, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and that you follow him on social media. He's on Instagram as @pilot.alexander, and he's on YouTube as Pilot Alexander. And make sure to hit the notification bell button so you don't miss any of our videos. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you very much, guys, for welcoming me. And thank you, everyone. See you soon.